My name is Kiran Makkar, and today I am going to discuss an essay which has been seen in the past in the IELTS academic writing test. The topic is: some people think that cultural traditions may be destroyed when they are used as money-making attractions aimed at tourists. Others believe it is the only way to save these traditions. Discuss on both sides and give your opinion. This is a discuss essay and it gives two views. One view says that cultural traditions are destroyed when we use them to attract tourists, and others believe that this is the only way to save these traditions. Introduction. It is irrefutable that cultural traditions attract tourists from all over the world and develop local economy. So irrefutable means true, indisputable, indubitable, definite. So it is definite or it is irrefutable that cultural traditions attract tourists from all over the world and develop local economy. Some individuals are of the opinion that these may be destroyed if they are modified to attract tourists. Others, however, hold the view that if we don't use them for tourism, these cultural attractions will die, or these attractions will die. In the following paragraph, I shall discuss both sides of the argument. I personally side with the latter view. Latter is that if we don't modify them, then they will die, so we must modify them. First paragraph, we have to make these cultural attractions alluring for tourists because we need the tourists. Firstly, tourism boosts our economy, and secondly, we get a chance to spread our culture to different countries. If our artists and artisans do not earn money from their art, which depicts our culture and tradition, then this art will die off and we'll only be the losers. So in this paragraph, I've said that we have to make these cultural attractions alluring. Alluring means tempting, enticing, charming, fascinating for the tourists because we need the tourists. And then I've gone on to say that tourism boosts our economy and we get a chance to spread our culture to different countries. And if our artists and artisans are people who work, skilled workers, um, craftsman or trained worker doing some handicraft, making some handicrafts. If these people do not earn money, then this art will definitely die off because they will have to do something else to make a living. Second paragraph, tourism is the backbone of any country's economy and every country does its effort to attract tourists. Every country does its effort to attract tourists. Many people depend on tourism for their livelihood. People in the food industry, hotel industry, and transport industry depend on tourism. Presentation is very important to attract visitors, and to present nicely, some change is unavoidable. Now, in this, I have again said that tourists are needed and tourism has to be boosted. And many people depend on this industry for their livelihood. And presentation of our art is very important to attract visitors. And to present our art, some change is unavoidable, which cannot be avoided, that is unavoidable. On the other hand, now on the other hand is a transition signal, which means that now I am going to talk about the other viewpoint. On the other hand, when cultural traditions are used as money-making attractions, they lose their original features. Sometimes it makes cultural traditions disappear altogether. However, I believe that culture and tradition are deep rooted, and minor superficial changes cannot harm them in any way. Change is the law of nature, and we all should look into uh, that the changes are made into it, that the changes are made with caution to retain the inherent elements of culture. So in this para, I've gone on to give the views of the opponent's view. They say that these cultural traditions will, if they are changed, because they will lose their originality. But then I've again gone on to say, present my view again, that I believe that culture and tradition are deep rooted, and these minor superficial changes cannot harm them in any way. Change is the law of nature. We have to accept change, and we have to change the presentation of our um, culture and tradition also to attract tourists, because ultimately we need the tourists. Summing up, to save cultural traditions, we need to make some changes to make them alluring to the tourists of today. If we don't do so, we'll lose our cultural traditions altogether, and we'll lose our tourists also. So we'll lose both if we don't change them. So alluring, um, captivating, I should use the word, another word, because alluring I have used earlier. So it's better to use different words every time in the IELTS essay to show your range of vocabulary. The plan followed is very simple. It's a discuss essay intro, and in para 1 why we should use cultural attractions for making money, and then in para 2 more advantages of tourism, para 3 disadvantages of using cultural tradition attractions to make money, and then conclusion. I hope you enjoyed the essay. If you've done so, then you can give me a thumbs up at the bottom, subscribe to the channel, and I'd really welcome some comments from you. Thank you very much.